Hey there, this is the contractor working with the insured for claim number 0707811071. So basically what we're doing today is that simulated or attempted repair, whichever you want to call it. They're pretty much the same thing that you guys requested just to see if the roof is repairable. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know that there's actually 5 different types of damage that we could possibly run into today. The first one is going to occur during the unsealing of the shingles. That's going to be mat transfer. We could also run into tears and stuff during the unsealing. The second thing that we would experience would be nail pulls, which is basically where when the nail is unfastened from its area, if it rips up too much of the shingle as it's being unfastened, there cannot be a new fastener put in place of said nail, thus deeming the area irreparable. Also, we could experience, any kind of tearing, creasing of the shingle and any kind of excessive granule loss. And if there is any kind of excessive granule loss, it's basically going to reduce the longevity of the surrounding shingles and cause their life to diminish, as well as make it to where they don't shed water properly. And the shingle that we're going to be simulating this repair on today is going to be this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and outline it for you guys, so that way we're all on the same page here. And just to go ahead and show you, I'm going to have to manipulate this one, and I'm going to have to manipulate this one as well. So there's a grand total. Actually, this is 2, so I'm going to have to manipulate a grand total of 4 shingles. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the number 4-SH. So that's the number of shingles I'm going to be manipulating today. So basically what I have to do is unseal all of these shingles, remove all of the fasteners, take the shingle out, put it back in, put all the fasteners back in place, and then as I go along with this, see what damage gets created, if damage gets created. So, and if damage does happen, if so much as one thing happens, the repair test is then a fail, and we know that it's just going to be a domino effect pretty much everywhere else on the roof. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you. None of these are unsealed. A little bird poop right there. None of these are unsealed right here. This applique seems to be, but the shingle itself is not. But I haven't manipulated any of these. So I'm going to go ahead and begin with unsealing all of these shingles. Start from over here. In a proper world, they say the shingle could last anywhere up to 30 years in a perfect world, but we don't live in one, so that's why I'm doing this today. Oh, it does seem to be that the matting is like permanently adhered right here. We already have a tear. I'm just going to leave my tool right the way that it is. Come over here, show you guys, remove it, lift up that shingle a little bit there so you can see it. Come over to this end and attempt to unseal. Oh, wow. So yeah, the matting across this shingle, as you can see, is basically permanently adhered to the shingle right there. So that's a 1 on the tears. So it lets me know that all these shingles are basically permanently adhered to one another, and any kind of unsealing is going to cause tearing and spots on the shingle. So I'll go ahead, unseal this one right next to it. And if all these shingles tear, then it's an automatic fail. Cannot even unseal the shingles without wow, okay. So another thing, just the way that I'm conducting this properly, is when I'm putting in the flat bar, I'm not lifting up like this or like this. I'm scooting it back and forth like that, like a trowel that you would use to thin out cement to break the seal. And you just want to use one end. And as you can see, when I get to this point right here, if I were to try to unseal it like that, just sliding it, it actually rips the shingle. If I go back up underneath it, it just continues to rip the shingle and forcefully pulls this up, because this entire portion of the shingle is permanently adhered right here. So in order for me to remove this, to be able to remove this shingle, I'm basically going to have to rip the shingle completely in half in order to remove the fasteners in the immediate row above. So that's 2 on the tears. So this is pretty much already failed. And, you know, mat transfer coupled with that. So as you can see right here, just boom, it's just tearing in it. I'm just showing you, I'm sliding it like this, and that's what's causing the tear here, is just manipulating the shingle in and of its entirety. Because if I lift this up, you can see the matting and how it's adhered. It's basically become one shingle, right? See, it's basically become one shingle because they're so glued together right there. I come over here to try to unseal it. I can't even unseal it. I'm not even going to be able to unseal this shingle without ripping it, tearing it, basically ripping it off the way that it would happen during a total roof replacement. See that right there? So we got 3 on the tears because it's permanently adhered. So this repairability test is basically a failure. It's pretty much a failure, 75% of the way there. And as so as you can see, we got another tear. All these shingles are just permanently adhered together, and we're not going to be able to effectively repair this at all without creating tears and rips in the shingles and causing further damage, which at the end of the day is going to make it to where if we were to take this one shingle out, we got to take all 4 of those out, and there's no way that we're going to be able to do that without creating rips and tears and creating further damage, because we got a total of 4 out of 4 on the tears, thus resulting this entire thing before we even unseal all the shingles in a fail. I really appreciate who was ever at Allstate that took the time to watch this video today. It means a lot to me. So I look forward to hearing back from you soon. Thank you.